All right, we got Derrick back on the podcast.
All right, happy to be back.
The new edition of the podcast here in the other undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location somewhere east, west of Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, we're always filming these in military storage spaces, apparently.
Just to keep moving, stay up to date. The latest hot spot.
Right.
Somewhere. Poland was last time.
Right,
We're south of Poland, north of Greece. I'll let you guys figure the rest of it out.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like on The Simpsons. You know, whenever they're explaining where they are, it's always like...
Wait. Matt Groening?
Matt Groening? Yeah.
He said, everything you need to know where Springfield is in the show. I don't know where, because I couldn't figure it out for years. It's been 30 years now.
Springfield, Illinois, I've heard.
Nah, that's too obvious. That's too obvious.
Yeah,
but
true.
He says everything you need to know where that show, where Springfield actually is in the show.
Interesting.
So
Huh.
I don't know.
Maybe one day you'll be driving and you'll be like, wait, is that Moe's?
Is the Simpsons still on?
It is, somehow.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Family Guy. They say we took a lot. Didn't say stole.
Yeah.
We took a lot from The Simpsons. And they admit that we took a lot from The Simpsons.
I mean, all art is kind of built upon past artists. You know what I mean?
They did a crossover, didn't they?
I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
That's
The
right.
Simpsons Family Guy did a crossover.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
And what? One guy's Yo, and the other guy's got green pants.
Yeah.
How come we're not rich? How come we're not rich?
Right.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
I feel like Rick and Morty is sort of the new Simpsons. Have you seen any of that show before?
Yes, kind of an intelligent.
Yeah.
So you have to actually listen to that.
You do.
They are intelligent.
It's wild. It's out there, too.
It's very up there. But, man, who's writing that stuff? There was a problem with one of their writers, wasn't it?
Yeah, domestic abuse. And he's gone. And he was the voice for the two main characters, Rick and Morty.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's a problem. It's like, we get lost this guy. Who does he voice? Oh, the show's called Rick and Morty. He voices Rick and Morty.
Oh, my God. I guess
That's the problem.
I saw an episode the other night. I guess they're still going. And I guess nobody's noticed that the voice sounds different. But
I'm not sure. I don't know if they've released the new season yet, but I heard that they're going to use an impersonator. Is how they're going to do it.
Okay.
One of the options was to create some sort of plot line where you have a different voice.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Which would have been tough, I think.
Going way back, way before your time, there was a show called Bewitched, and they traded Darren's, which was the husband of the main character. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I've heard of the show. No, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Well, any old guys watching this.
Yeah.
Back then, they changed Darren. He was the husband of the main character. In the middle of the season, they just changed him, and they didn't think anybody would notice. For those of us sitting in poverty watching this show, we're like, we had nothing else to do. We definitely noticed, hey, it's a different white guy.
Where'd he go?
Come on. Think we were going to notice that?
Yeah. That's funny.
A little old guy trivia, sorry.
Yeah.
From the last century, going way back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How's the 1911 treating you? Still packing that thing around?
By God. Never had a problem with it yet. We're going, and the other officers, we're going on a shooting range real soon. And the last time we took it out there, we shot with state troopers and SF guys.
Oh, cool.
1911. Everybody agreed it's the way to go. I saw a agency, I think it was Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's their issue weapon. Full size 1911s.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Dude. Hell yeah.
I mean, the thing I've always said, people, it's like a meme in the gun community that you're a grandpa if you still believe in the 1911.
Say what you want.
But the thing that the 1911 does that really not many other handguns can do is it's a 45 and it's thin.
True. Very.
All the modern 45s are double stacked for the most part, and they're just big guns. So it's a way to have a large caliber. They're heavy unless you have an alloy frame, but it tames that 45 really nice, and it's a nice thin package.
It's effective. I know most agencies are going to 9mm. I think purely for economic reasons.
Right.
9mm's cheaper.
Right.
I don't know if it's any easier to shoot, but I think it depends on the shooter, right?
Yeah, I think I've always felt like 9 and 45 are kind of similar because usually a 45 the gun is heavier, so it kind of balances out to a certain degree.
Takes that recoil better.
Yeah, probably 9 is probably a little easier to shoot, though. Easier to train people on.
Well, if you spend the time and the money, anybody can learn to shoot anything.
That's true.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer, of course, in 1911s. But they work. That agency had full-size 1911s issued, outstanding.
That's interesting.
You get some people who are real big on capacity too. I'm like,
Right.
U.S. Justice Department showed that most of your gunfights are 3 feet, last 3 to 5 seconds, and you fire 3, maybe 4 rounds.
Interesting.
So you don't need the big, 12, 16, 18.
Right.
That just makes you feel better.
Right.
I got 18 rounds. All right, sure.
Right. It's never going to hurt you to have more ammo, but the odds of you getting to a situation that are where you're not going to do a Die Hard situation.
Exactly.
To quote Rick and Morty, you're not going to do a Die Hard probably.
It's never going to be John Wick.
Yeah.
Like the guys that get the 50 round drums for the Glocks.
Oh, right.
Okay. Usually that's gangsters that do that.
If you need a 50-round drum for a Glock, then you need AR-15.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Just get a rifle. You're right. Just get a rifle. Yeah.
Exactly. Just go ahead and take it to the next level.
Exactly. I mean, because any normal law-abiding person is not going to need all that.
Right.
Not going to need. And where are you going to carry that? You're going to keep it under your shirt?
Yeah.
What? A drum? What?
Yeah, I feel like that's always the problem with drums. Oh, it's great. I got more ammo, but then once you empty it, what do I do with it?
Yeah. Let me stop and reload. Time. All right. Okay. I need to reload my gun. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Have you ever loaded a drum or seen it done?
Oh my God. It's not easy. It's
crazy.
Yeah. Very laborious and time consuming and come on.
Right. Like a Thompson drum. You ever seen that done? Yeah, open it up. You got to stack the rounds in, and it's got to be done a certain way, or it won't work right.
Yeah.
And then you got to crank it a certain number of times, and people have different opinions on how many times you should crank it. And it's
which from World War II, the majority of people used stick magazines, 20, 30 round stick magazines.
Right.
It's the way to go. It's easier to carry.
right. Absolutely.
But
That's what I loved about the movie Public Enemies, which I'm sure you've seen, right? That's one of the greatest just historical, I guess, historical fiction movies where it's it's not a documentary, obviously, but it's so closely follows the history of John Dillinger. But they used a lot of stick magazines. In that.
When they walked to the bank, I forget where.
Indiana, I think.
Indiana. Dillinger, another guy, they walked to the bank. I love the fact that these guys are always in suit and tie.
Right. Yeah.
Was there any casual dress in the 30s?
I don't think so.
This guy in rob a bank, suit, tie, overcoat, hat.
Yeah.
Went to a bank and then pulled out the Thompsons.
Right.
Excellent. And I believe what's his name? The guy that had the issues. Not Pretty Boy Floyd. The guy that who went after him?
Oh, the guy that Christian Bale played.
Yeah,
but,
that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Batman.
Not him. Not the. Oh God, he was the head of the Untouchables.
Not the Elliot Ness.
It wasn't Elliot Ness, was it?
No, that's the one Elliot Ness. But
Okay, who's the other guy? Oh my God. Yeah, the guy that nobody remembers that
I can't
they
remember.
ended up killing Dylan.
Purvis.
Melvin Purvis.
Yeah.
Melvin Purvis capped off that guy in the movie. Capped off the guy. He was
Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah.
But I don't think it was Pretty Boy Floyd because Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh yeah,
That was the guy.
Yeah.
Because the guy was kind of off hinge.
Yeah.
Because when they robbed the bank, he got up on top of the table.
Or was it Babyface Nelson?
I'm sure they're Googling now.
There was a bunch of them.
The guy that Melvin Purvis shot.
Yeah.
He shot the federal agent in the car.
That was Babyface.
That was Babyface. He says, I know you guys wear vests, so I'm going to give it to you high. I'm going to give it to you low.
Yeah.
Dude, what a jerk. Dude.
Oh, man. Yeah, he was evil.
And then
he was so evil that even the Dillinger gang didn't like him.
They didn't trust. They're like, dude, we got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
If Dillinger and criminals don't trust it, dude,
you got a problem.
You got a problem.
Yeah.
If these bloodthirsty killers are like, oh, this guy got to go.
Right.
We got to go.
Yeah. It's like something I always thought was funny is Metallica, when they were first getting started, they're like notorious alcoholics, but they kicked out one of their early members, Dave Mustaine, for being too much of a drunk. Right? If a bunch of alcoholics in a metal band are like, you're a problem.
Hey, dude, you got to calm down. You're out of control over there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, my God. But I don't know, man. As far as gun culture, Are you still doing your thing with that, or are we?
Oh,
have
so
we moved
yeah,
on?
yeah. So yeah, I'll give you an update on the podcast.
Oh, please do.
I'll give you a little bit of update here.
For
So
all of
it's
us
been
who
a
need to
while.
know.
It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Mhm.
So yeah, the original podcast that we started doing together was Gun Culture Radio.
Okay.
And but and I kind of took a big hiatus. I tried to bring the podcast back a few times. I
Yeah.
tried a few different names or whatever. And but here recently, I've kind of realized like, okay, I'm ready to like do it for real this time.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time thinking about a name, this podcast is called Standard Capacity.
Okay.
So this is the philosophy behind it. Okay.
Okay,
So
all
the
right.
philosophy behind it is I wanted to do a podcast that wasn't necessarily a gun podcast. There would obviously be gun talk on it
Okay.
because I like guns, and
Good.
I'm going to have guests on like you that like guns, right? So
Right.
it's going to be a lot of gun talk, but I didn't want that to just be the whole thing. I wanted to
No.
be more general, but I wanted a name that could mean, but I also didn't want to do just a comedy podcast, my other world.
Okay.
So I wanted a name that I could see as kind of having both meanings, right?
Okay.
So standard capacity, is the term that we use for 30 round magazines as kind of to combat that high capacity term, right? That they use to ban
The
it.
scary thing that scares people.
Right, because they're trying to ban them, so they call them high
my God.
capacity.
Again?
Which, always.
Okay.
Just always. All the time. They're always trying to ban them.
Okay.
Dianne Feinstein is dead, though, so
Thank you for
slightly less.
you seem very dejected. Are you gonna be okay?
I'll be all right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm not celebrating it, but
Not in the streets cheering.
but I'll get over it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like a term to kind of combat that because really a 30 rounds is standard for an
Yeah.
AR-15. That's just standard, right? So the high capacity thing is it's crazy. It's just an anti-gun statement. So, and then also my thought of the double meaning is like standard capacity, like mentally, like like we're idiots.
Which is an issue in this world we live in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like to me, it's like I'm saying that about myself. It's like I'm not that smart, so don't expect too much.
All right, then. All right. No, fair enough.
That's my thought.
The one thing. Okay, back to that gun thing. Standard capacity, good. Rebrand the name from high capacity
Right.
because that just scares people, or it's been made scary by the media.
Right.
Most of your murders and assaults with weapons are with handguns,
Right.
which and people just kind of don't talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah. Because most of the time, murders with guns, they're ambush.
Yeah.
So
Somebody too, which is something else
true.
people don't like talking about.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey.
Jesse, the sound guy for this episode,
We don't.
he's gonna kill us.
Ratings should go up though. Hey.
yeah. That's true. It would be a good episode.
That's right. The last one, but
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Damn, our last episode went viral.
we try to
but-
keep people level-headed about
Yeah.
that as always. But we see so much media. My opinion.
Yeah.
Media-generated hysteria. Over
Right.
everything's like CNN used to do like everything was a mass shooting. Mm-hmm. I think what is it, anything over 3 people?
Right. And also, gang shootings get kind of wrapped up in that, which they obviously when they say mass shooting, they know people are thinking of the big ones.
Yeah, but 25 people. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so if the more they can attach that to, the more often it seems like it's happening, and the easier it is for them to try to come after
Ain't
guns.
nobody giving up no weapons.
It's not. That's the thing.
That ain't gonna happen.
That's the thing that I try to tell people is this argument doesn't matter.
No,
because it's not going to happen. And the harder you push, okay, there's certain states that have enough people that think that way. You're going to get by with some stuff. But start trying to tell Texas, or even Tennessee, they can't have an AR-15. Good luck.
Exactly. I mean,
It's
it ain't gonna
real,
happen.
It's going to be a real problem.
And like it's that last thing in Nashville, Covenant.
Right.
Again, we should focus on one senator, Republican senator, said something that I think we need to focus on. He said that mental health was the real issue.
Right.
The weapon was just a tool.
Right.
And I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Some of the people I work with, the biggest problem I see out there is undiagnosed, untreated mental illness.
Right.
And I don't understand why there's still a stigma about it in the society. We should be the last ones.
Right.
To have a problem with that. If you have an issue, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
And that's how you
absolutely.
avoid problems. But that's
then-
the real issue.
Right. I think mental illness is the real issue causing it. But I think the other issue that allows it to happen is by not being armed, soft targets.
True.
Right? Because
You're right.
you can't eliminate mental health,
No, you can't.
health problems,
In fact, that if I recall correctly, that individual that was going to hit another school.
Oh,
but they had stronger security.
Right.
So they went after the soft target, which you notice that. They always go after the softer targets.
Exactly. And the other thing about every time one of these shootings happens, it's stopped by someone with a gun.
Yeah.
Every time. Every single time. Someone shows up with a gun and it's stopped. There's never been one where someone just got bored of it. You know what I mean?
All right. You should laugh.
It's not funny, I guess. But you know what I mean, though. It's
Also,
it's never happened.
Metro Nashville PD responded. Their response was excellent, on time, on point. I think they were on scene within 4 minutes.
They put on a clinic of how to deal with that.
Exactly. And they weren't like some of these other jurisdictions that screwed up. Excellent response by police. So,
Absolutely.
Which police taking all the flack they take now. I'm like,
Right. Yeah, it's a shame. It's crazy. It's a crazy time right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's no crazy. You could ask somebody 20 years ago, they would say the same thing.
True, that's
true. By God, this Diet Coke stuff, it's crazy.
We would have said, you don't know shit.
You don't know nothing, by golly. Back in the last century, by God. We only had one telephone. It's crazy. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but we got to try to get to the real issues. When stuff like that happens, we should try to focus on the real issues.
Right.
And again, from the people I work with, untreated mental illness.
Absolutely.
That is the problem. And, well, one of the problems.
I work with a lot of them too because I do comedy.
But I think your people are venting in a positive, productive way. Well, I've heard that.
They're where they're supposed to be.
I've heard that comedy was tragedy and timing.
Absolutely.
And
and the thing is, everyone who's good at comedy, like they got a little something not totally put together about them, or they've been through something. You got to have still something like that.
Life experience.
Right, to want to be funny or to be able to be funny. But I've noticed there's a lot of people trying comedy that are just straight up mentally ill. You know what I mean? And just in a way that's not funny, unless you're allowed to laugh at them, which you aren't. That's the only way that you're funny is if we can laugh at you.
Dude, I mean, you would know. I mean, you're there, So I've heard some of the big names in comedy talk about that's how they coped with whatever they went through. Tiffany Haddish, some other guys, had some things happen in their life, and that's how they coped with it. Comedy was a way to get up there and cope.
Absolutely. I've always felt like there was a similarity between like combat veterans and comedians because they both, obviously, it's not to say those are the same things, but they understand how that humor is a way to kind of get through things that are difficult.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that. I saw one guy on Instagram. He's a Army vet, and he's doing stand up now. I'm like, how do you know when you make it in stand up? How do you know when you're there? I mean, how would you know? I mean,
there's so many levels of making it. My idea of what making it is if you could make a living off of only doing stand up.
Okay.
Then I think you've made it.
All right. I heard the last concert I saw Tiffany Haddish do. She talked about, I got this much for doing this. Yeah, the Oscars this. And look for the next one. You're always looking for the next one.
Right.
Next show. You're never done.
Right, absolutely.
You're always looking for the next one. And,
right.
I guess so. I guess even if you're doing the Kevin, what's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Doing the big shows,
Right.
arenas. Okay, he's thinking, when's the next one?
Right.
I mean,
it's like a high that you're chasing.
Well,
for me, the success high, it's always going to crash and burn at some point.
You have to expect that.
You can only be so successful, and think about big stars. With very rare exception, they all kind of plateau and then they come down, right? No one is just at the top forever.
Okay.
So,
right?
No matter who it is.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, right?
Oh, he was it.
He was the king
now
in
he's
the
just kinda,
90s.
who?
Right, exactly. So it's like they all, come down. So if that's the high you're chasing, it's going to probably not turn out great for you. One of the things I like, my high that I chase doing comedy is the actual material itself.
Yeah.
Right? Because like for me, the most fun thing about stand-up is coming up with a new bit, a new joke, and then you try it and it works.
Okay.
For the first time, that's a huge high. Like, oh man, I got something good.
Okay.
And then if it continues to work and it makes its way into your act and it's like a really good bit, it's just like such a great feeling from that.
Okay. Being
You know.
creative.
Yeah. It's you built something and it was a success. It just feels good. And that never ends,
I heard some of these guys, though, look real successful. They got like a whole room full of writers, too, though.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah. Well,
Bill Maher
because-
does. But what's his name?
Once they get into acting and those kinds of things, they don't have time to write an act and put out specials and things like that.
The Comedy Store, I watched a special on those guys. They used to have guys just hanging out outside. And then you
Yeah.
would sign up, and they pick the first 10 names off the list.
Right.
And all right, 3 minutes, go.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah. And they
All
perform to an empty room, basically.
right. Yeah, dude. Okay.
Yeah, it's tough.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been through all that. It's tough.
dude.
It's tough. It's brutal.
Serious. Damn.
Oh yeah, hecklers and stuff like that, and
respect. Put
drunk
up with
people that want to fight you. know. I had it was funny. I had a situation that happened. You would have loved it if you had been there. I was at an open mic in Chicago, and there was these big. It was at a Packers bar
Okay.
in Chicago.
All right.
So you can imagine there's some tension
Little
there.
bit of
you know?
animosity there,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there was these big dudes that were there to like, watch a game. I think it was just some college football game. And they were in there and they were super drunk.
Okay.
And they were heckling some of the comics and the host of the mic, right?
Okay.
And then the host started trying to shit on him back to him,
Okay.
right? And the guy got mad and he threatened him.
Oh.
He said, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said something like, say something like that again and see what happens. It was something like that, right?
Okay, here we go. Okay. It's comedy, dude.
Right, exactly. And I was ready because the host was a very good comic, so I was kind of ready for him to shut it down, but he sort of like didn't really to handle it. So I just so happened I was going up next.
Of course.
And, and I was like, all right, I'm not letting this go. Like, this pisses me off.
Okay.
And luckily, I've been in this situation before. And my move, whenever this happens, whenever a heckler goes to the level of threatening, especially if it's at an open mic, this wouldn't work at a regular show. But what I do is I go up there, and I'm like, you may not understand how open mics work, but it's almost exclusively comedians in here. And we hate each other, but we will rally against you. Like, we will unite against you. And we don't have much to lose because we're sad, depressed people. This is not good. This is not working out for us. We have nothing to lose, So like that, some version of that usually will.
Okay.
Then they realize like, oh, I am very outnumbered in here.
Okay, dude. Respect. You put up with those hecklers because I watch these comedy specials, and you always got the guy. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The guy, always in the front row, never in the back.
Right,
always
right.
up front and center. Paid all kinds of money for the seat, sitting there with a blank expression on his face.
Right.
The comic is he's hitting it. Everybody else is laughing their ass off except that guy.
Right.
That guy. I saw Dave Chappelle. All of them. There's always got that guy sitting there.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with him, or do you just ignore him?
Yeah, I think it's an ego thing for people. I think there's people they don't like that this guy's up here being funny. You know what I mean?
You're at a
And
comedy show, dude.
Or they're like, I'm funnier than this guy, whatever. And they just, it's strange.
Why are you here?
Right.
Leave.
If it's not having fun, just go.
No,
right?
no. I'm gonna sit there and glare at you on stage.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Okay. I gotta ask you. Will Smith, Chris Rock. What do you think?
Here's the thing. I don't hate Will Smith, but I mean, Chris Rock was on the right side of that. I mean, and also, did you watch Chris Rock's special, or at least
Yes,
see
I
the
did.
part where
He wait to the end.
yeah, I mean, I thought what he said was perfect.
That's right.
It's like the whole world was disrespecting you, and your way to show that you're a man was to slap a tiny man.
A 5'7", 140-pound guy. What?
Right. I mean, that's
on national TV in front of the world. What if The Rock had said it? Would you have been so quick to jump out of your chair?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, what? Yeah, what? Dwayne Johnson's back there. He's talking shit.
Yeah.
Go up to him. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Problem I have with it. How come Will Smith wasn't hooked up by the police? LAPD was there.
I think, Chris Rock didn't file charges, I guess.
I wouldn't have cared. I would have hooked him up right there on national
Yeah.
TV. Dude, you just assaulted this guy.
Yeah.
Right there on national TV.
Right.
Yeah, some of these.
I thought it was fake. For a
Yeah, you're right.
pretty long time.
Yeah, we
for a
thought
pretty long
about it.
time, I thought it was fake.
You're right. I did too. I thought this is a routine. This is a routine they came up with, you know.
Yeah.
But no. He really knocked the hell out of him.
Right, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that anyone would be so crazy to do something like that.
Because he's talking shit. Was he talking shit about his wife?
Yeah.
He's joking about his wife.
Yeah. And
Like-
it was,
like everybody did.
right. And it was something that had been bubbling for a long time. That's the thing. It's like, I don't hate Will Smith. I understand why he did what he did, but it still doesn't justify it.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you're Will Smith.
He just lost it. He just lost it. He was being disrespected on a public stage, and
He's a comedian. You know that. You're a public figure.
right.
Come on, dude.
Exactly. It's supposed to give the situation some levity.
Yes.
That's the thing. Comedy is about levity.
Okay. The problem I had again, I thought it was fake too, but still, you hit him. Once I realized that no, it wasn't fake.
Right.
LAPD was right there. They did ask, "Do you want us to go hook this guy up?"
Right.
I would have said, "Put him on ice." Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But no. They're like, well, somebody was worried about the optics that would cause. What do you mean the optics?
Yeah.
He slapped the hell out of that guy.
Right,
No.
yeah.
But they're like, well, a black man. No.
Yeah.
A black dude that slapped the heck out of another black dude. Hook him up. Let's go.
Yeah.
But because, in fact, Will was partying afterwards, right?
Oh.
And after you guys Oscar and shit.
Oh,
and he was
crazy.
sniveling on the
That
microphone.
is kind of disrespectful. Yeah.
Come on, dude. At least go home.
Yeah.
But no, I would have hooked him up.
Yeah.
And no one's above the law.
Right.
But that's a problem I think we have in America. Depending on how much money you got, you
Yeah.
can be kind of sort of above the law.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the same thing happened to Dave Chappelle, didn't it?
Yeah. He got attacked.
Some dude
That
launched
was
out of the
different.
crowd.
He had a knife and everything. That was crazy.
Whoa, dude. So I got
You heard about Jamie Foxx though. Apparently bashed his head in. Well, not like actually, but he was Jamie Foxx kicked his ass.
Okay.
Basically is what happened.
Which I think this could always happen, but no one expected it to happen.
Right.
I mean, I guess the potential's always been there. You don't know who's sitting out in that crowd.
Yeah.
And you may be, you might be on a tear, but then
Yeah.
that guy thinks he's talking about me.
Right. Yeah.
And then come up out of that crowd. I mean,
Yeah. Also, like my example at the open mic at Dave Chappelle's show, you're kind of outnumbered. Most people like this guy. Most people in this room like this guy a lot.
paid very much money
Yeah.
to come see him, and then
Yeah,
here you
yeah.
go launching up out of the crowd trying to
Right.
attack him.
Exactly.
No.
But speaking of Dave Chappelle, I'm seeing him next week.
Okay,
Yeah, at the United Center,
where's that at?
and it's where the Bulls play in
okay.
Chicago.
All right, so,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
Really cool.
So I thought, so it's not like comedy's become a contact sport.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, God
No one's ever
damn.
done that to me. I don't know why, but
Maybe it's on the gun talk.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, but what else you got going on, man? I know you did. Did you do a version of this up in Chi-Town?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've got so this is like the secondary studio. So we're gonna record when I come back.
Okay.
And I'm recording up there in Chicago.
Good.
So the podcast up there is gonna be very comedian heavy, of course. But yeah, that's basically back and forth. Doing stand up, making videos, making gun videos.
So you gonna make the jump to film movies yet?
No.
What? That's where the money's at. Come on.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just like making internet content. I'm not smart enough to make movies.
Okay.
I'd like to though.
Yeah,
one day.
why not, dude? Come on.
It'd be cool.
You can. All you gotta do is find your niche.
Yeah.
Like Tiffany Haddish. I think she
Right.
just has this thing she does.
Yeah.
Kind of sort of Kevin. What's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah. What's his name? Yeah. So how famous he
Only
is.
the
I'm
most
like,
famous
And
comedian
I'm like,
of all
who?
time.
What? Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody you got to find your niche.
Yeah.
And get in there. What happened with the Jamie Foxx? Did he have a heart attack or what?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. Did they ever say what it was? What is it?
He was just in the hospital,
Yeah.
ICU, and then
Yeah, that was weird.
you know.
And then it was like conspiracies. It's not really
Oh
him.
my
When
God!
he came back.
Jeez, why is
It's
it?
like he just looks
He's
sick.
just sick.
Yeah,
He just,
exactly. Yeah.
I guess which was one of the problems with being famous. The minute
Right.
the minute something happens, the rumor mill starts.
Right. Absolutely.
Who's that guy went to see him? The guy with for some reason, he was the go-to guy once he was in the hospital.
Jack?
Guy had all the kids. He got like 18 kids by 5 women.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon. All of a sudden, Nick Cannon was the go-to spokesman for this guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
interesting.
Okay. But, dude, let's get out there, man. Why not?
Yeah. You got to come up to Chicago sometime. We'll go to a game at Wrigley. You ever been to Wrigley?
Dude, let me know when.
Okay.
How did you do this year?
Cubs, they did okay. There's still some chance they might make the playoffs, but they're not great. But I think they're kind of a lot of young players. Like they could get better in the next few years. I think.
Because I went to a Braves Chicago game in Atlanta.
Oh, cool.
And man, I went down there and there were more Chicago fans there than Braves fans. I was like,
interesting.
Where'd all these people come from?
Yeah.
But they got a strong following up there.
That's interesting. I went to a Braves game in Chicago this year. Saw the Braves.
Oh yeah. How was the crowd?
Good. The Cubs won, but
I don't know about
the Braves are great this year. Though.
I don't know about Chicago, but at Friday night in Atlanta, if the Braves are in town, everybody's in that stadium.
Oh wow!
Everybody's there. I mean,
bet.
it's standing room only. So
that's
they
cool.
won the World Series last year. We went to that. Oh, talk about bedlam.
Oh
my God. Oh, geez.
bet.
I don't recommend it. don't watch it on TV.
Right.
Don't go there.
I'd kind of like to go to one of the playoff games this year in Atlanta. That'd be cool.
Spend the money for parking. Spend the money for the right seats because if you try to get the cheap seats, dude, and find parking is forget about it.
Oh yeah.
You gotta park like 15 miles away and walk in.
Right.
But
I know a lot of times with Cubs games, I'll try to buy tickets last minute because a lot of times you can get a good deal.
You're right. They can't wait to get rid of them there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. What about the White Sox? You don't watch those guys? Or does anybody watch the White Sox?
The White Sox, they're bad this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that thing with the one? I forget the guy's name, but one of their players got into a fight with another player and then he got knocked out.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
That's why you don't fight on TV. Too much chance of you getting knocked out.
Oh yeah, he got embarrassed.
You can't come back from that.
No, you can't.
Dude, you can't come back.
You can't. I mean, it was probably a lucky hit, but still, you got knocked
out.
It does count. It absolutely does count.
60 million people just saw you get knocked on your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, I've never been. I was never a huge baseball guy, but living in Chicago, I've been kind of getting into it because it's fun to go to the games.
You're right. You got to go to the game. TV, forget about that.
Right.
You got to go to the game.
Absolutely.
It's a party atmosphere.
It's fun.
I don't know about Chi-Town, but in the Braves Stadium, it's a little complex around it.
Oh, interesting.
Bars, clubs, hotels. It's an experience. They got a zip line there. All that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Interesting. So Wrigley is because it's one of the only two old original stadiums that Wrigley and where the Red Sox play.
Red Sox.
Fenway.
Right,
Wrigley and Fenway, the only two left. Let's see, Wrigley was 1914 and Fenway was 1912, I believe.
Old school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrigleyville, the area around there's all kinds of stuff. Of course, restaurants, bars, and things like that. But the stadium is pretty raw. I still have like the trough that you pee in. You ever go to those?
Hey, it's the way to go.
He's got to stand shoulder to shoulder and
How
pee
you
in the
doing,
trough.
fella? Yeah. Don't mind me. Everybody's a confident. Everybody's a confident heterosexual here. Right. Come on.
It almost seems gayer to not pee in the trough because it's like you're scared.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I had that thought. It was like I could go to the urinal, I could go to the trough, but it's like, what am I scared?
I'm gonna be a man.
I'm
a man.
Yeah, exactly.
How you doing?
Yeah. It's the 70s. We pee in troughs.
Oh my God. How's the winters up there? I've heard horror stories.
Yeah. Everyone tried to scare me with the winter. So there were some days where it got below zero and stuff like that. The thing about it that was tough was just it wasn't how cold it got; it was how long it was cold. Right? I'm used to Tennessee where it's cold in the winter and you have some really cold days sometimes, but there's give it a couple weeks and there'll be some 50-degree days or be like 46 or something like that. You don't really get that up there. I mean, it's just 20s and 30s for 6 months. You know, you just kind of you don't even have to check the weather. You're just like, oh, it's gonna feel terrible outside. You just know. You know.
I've heard the horror stories, and any kind of venturing up north in the wintertime, forget it, bro. Sorry,
it's rough. Yeah.
So, no thanks. No.
Yeah.
Coming from the subtropical south.
Yeah.
I am terrified of
Yeah.
that white stuff that comes down from the sky.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they'll come up in the spring or the summer.
There you go. All right, it's spring,
Yeah.
summer.
Plus,
Yeah.
baseball season's almost over for the Cubs at least.
I know that. And what about the South Side? Sorry,
All right.
sorry. I've only heard the rumors. I am not from there. You live there. The
That's
South
true.
Side.
I do live in the South Side.
You do?
I live on. No, I don't.
I was like, damn. Respect.
Yeah. No, but I have driven through it because got to check it out. You know.
Okay, yeah.
Are you familiar with the notorious O Block?
O Block.
You don't know
What's
about it? Okay, so O Block is a notorious. I think I'm not sure if it's projects or if it's Section 8, but it's good.
Public housing.
Yeah, it's public housing. At one time, it was considered to be one of the most dangerous places in the country. I think.
Okay.
And it's like famous for that. But yeah, I drove by that, and I mean I went middle of the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
12 noon.
Yeah, there was definitely some working girls walking around and some characters that seemed like they might be up to no good. But for the most part, it's still it's a little bit overrated how dangerous it is down there. You know what I mean? There's certain pockets of it that are very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just people down there just living, making a living. You know what I mean? The South Side is a huge area.
Yeah.
It's massive. So sometimes I think people have this idea, the South Side's like this one little neighborhood you get caught in. It's massive.
Okay.
Where apparently the most dangerous places are on 63rd Street, 63rd, 64th, and 65th Street. Someone was explaining to me, so I know this comedian in Chicago. Her name is Erica Clark is her name. Erica Clark. And she is the daughter of Mr. T.
Okay.
And she's a comedian in
She's a
Chicago.
comedian.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a road gig with her and another comic. We went up to the UP, way up north, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Okay.
And she was filling me in on the South Side and how it works down there. And apparently there is a turf, like a Hatfields and McCoy's level war going on.
Okay.
Between 63rd Street and 64th. 64th and 65th apparently are on the same team.
Okay.
And but 63rd, so there's like a war going on. So it gets wild down there.
Yeah, dude. Okay, dude. Sorry. We were going to road trip up that way, and Chicago was an absolute no. We were going to swing as far wide as we could.
Yeah.
Sorry, I believe in the stereotypes. Far wide as we could, avoid it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Give Chicago a wide berth. Now
Okay.
I've heard nobody say anything, nothing but good.
Yeah, sometimes you
about the place.
gotta come up when I'm up there. It's cool.
Okay.
I'll show you the good spots.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I've heard people that live there like you say nothing but good about it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm looking at the damn news, and it's
Right.
like, 27 people killed in a weekend. And in fact, that doesn't even
It's
make
a big
the news
city.
anymore. You're right.
It's not even the most dangerous city. Memphis is way more dangerous per capita.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that. And Memphis had the highest. I went down there for a hearing. Memphis had the highest police presence I've ever seen in the United States. Anyway, as soon as you get anywhere near Memphis, just THP, Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
As soon as you get inside the 240 loop, you start seeing the Shelby County Sheriff's Department.
Oh, right.
And once you get inside Memphis itself, Memphis PD.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Yeah, passing through on 40.
Yeah.
As soon as you get near, you just see the cops everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't understand them having the crime problems they have with that much of a police presence.
I know, it's crazy.
And then I did a hearing, and then but they do real court down there.
Yeah.
They start at 7, and I left at 6, 7 o'clock that night p.m. and they were still going.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
This train don't stop.
Yeah.
And I gassed up at a gas station in a state vehicle about a quarter mile from the courthouse, and I got the distinct feeling it's time to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm standing there in uniform with a weapon. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
hurry up. It's
Yeah.
time to go.
Sometimes you can just feel something's up.
It's time to go.
Oh, I got a story for you.
Go
You'll
for
like
it.
this one.
Okay.
So I was one night in Chicago. I was I used to walk more until I heard some stories, but
Okay. Okay.
now I don't. I try not to walk at night, especially
Yeah.
in certain areas.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Chicago is it's not as dangerous as people think, but I will
Wherever
tell
it
you
is,
this. When I living in Nashville, I never knew people who had been robbed and carjacked, but I know people who have in Chicago. You know what I
okay.
mean? So it makes it feel a little more real.
Yeah.
You know? But so one night I was walking home, and there's no one out. It was like 2:30 in the morning, walking by myself, and this car pulls up. This is a part of the story. I was wearing this big jacket that I had that I don't know if you ever seen me wear it. Probably not, but it looks like a Vietnam jacket. It's not actually a military jacket, but it looks like just a big like Vietnam era, like an M65 type coat, right? And it's super warm. It's got like fake fur lined. I'll wear it over like a hoodie, you know. It's real cold. So I'm 6'8", wearing this army jacket, walking down the sidewalk, right? And this car pulls up just kind of pulls up right up to where I am. And I had to stop, like, oh, shit, here it is. Because I've heard the way that these muggings happen, it's not just a guy that walks up to you. It's a car that pulls up, and, like, 4 dudes get out with guns.
Okay.
So you don't have much of a chance.
All right.
And I was just like, all right, here we go.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
And I just try to keep walking with confidence, you know. And then I walked past the car. I was like, okay. And then as I walked past the car, I got just a little bit ahead of it. Then it pulled up again quickly to where I then was again, right next to me. And I was like, okay, now this is bad.
All right.
And then they didn't get out, and I just kept walking, and they eventually just kind of sped off. My theory is, now it could have been a coincidence, of course, but my theory is that there was an argument in that car. And whoever took the side of, let's not fuck with this guy, won.
Okay, all right. Yeah. They're flipping coins. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody else.
Look how big he is. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Are you serious? This guy? If anyone had a gun, it's got to be this guy.
Come on, this guy's got. I think I've seen him before somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. Hey,
oh shit! Doesn't his dad make those videos? Damn, he's got a Uzi.
So, dude. So that they just drove off.
Yeah, I mean, again, it might have just been nothing, but it seems pretty. You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds at 2:30 in the morning? There's no one else out. There's nothing open on that street that they were going to. Well, they pull up right next to me. Like, it was a kind of a drive the first time, and they almost like blocked me in. They kind of pulled into a drive, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then I sort of just walked around. I didn't have to like go out wide really, but I just kind of, walked around, and then they kind of backed up, and then they again pulled up to where I was after a little bit.
Yeah.
And then,
okay, guy. Yeah, that was somebody was having second thoughts.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
You can pull that because you got that vigilante thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm a citizen, mind my own business.
Yeah.
Until somebody starts something, and then
right. Yeah. Exactly.
So good, great.
It's scary. I'll tell you something about like robbery, because I remember I used to take criminal, and you obviously know this. I took criminal justice classes. People sometimes will get robbed and burglarized confused.
Yeah.
Because burglarized is like they broke into your house and took your stuff when you weren't there. Robbed is like they took it from you.
Yeah. Physically, yeah.
Right. And both piss me off, but robbery especially. The idea of someone, you're just minding your own business and then pointing a gun at you and making you, give them your wallet and your phone and all that kind of stuff. It just... It makes my blood boil. The fact that
it's disrespect, invasion of privacy,
everything. And also knowing that there is a easy fix to this problem.
Oh yeah,
that the government does not allow to the extent that it should.
Well, because we've hit on this before, only law-abiding citizens are going to worry about this.
Right.
How can I say it? If everybody was packing, then there'd be a lot less robbery, I think.
Absolutely.
Because, well, I know he's got a gun.
Right.
Now, some people say, well, that's just going to be a bigger shootouts. Let me tell you something. Criminals are opportunists. They want the most gain for the least amount of risk.
Right.
If they think that you're packing, they still might come at you, but they're going to be extra cautious.
Which is probably exactly the scenario that played out when they let me go.
They thought, that if you were a 5'5" female, clutching her purse,
right?
You've been done. You've been over.
Yeah, maybe even if I didn't have that jacket, I feel like that jacket saved me.
You could have had Uzi under it, two of them, in a shoulder holster.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. Imagine the look on their face. They pull out with their pistols, and then you just whip out an Uzi
and open up. But then you got, you have to do all the explaining. Well, Mr. Hickok, why does that car have 72 holes in it?
yeah.
They had guns. So,
yeah, exactly.
So, what gets people in trouble?
It's like I gave them 72 chances to run away.
What gets people in trouble, your average Joe in trouble with the law, is that your average guy doesn't understand gun law.
Right.
And that can get you in trouble real quick, as you know. I joke, half jokingly say that you almost got to give him the first shot. Almost.
Yeah, it's not totally untrue. Yeah.
Because the minute those guys have jumped out, you got the drop on them. It would have been very easy for them to say, we were minding our own business, and he pulled out a Uzi submachine gun and threatened us.
Right.
That's all it would have took. And now you're doing all this explaining.
Because if there's no video evidence that they flashed guns.
Exactly. It's your word against theirs. And remember, the police don't know.
Right.
I tell all my people I work with this, and friends and family members, remember, the police pull up. They don't know.
Yeah.
Unless there's signs of a forced entry somewhere.
Right.
Or video or something showing that we saw something from Chicago in one of our classes. This mother and son were at the back door of their house, and this dude that jumped over the fence into the backyard. And did he have a weapon? Maybe, maybe not. But they pulled their gats, and they're yelling, "Get out of here! Get out of here! Go!" And he's at the back of the yard, just standing there. And then finally, he started walking toward him, and the old lady capped off around and put one through him.
Oh.
And then they called the ambulance, picked him up. There was an investigation, but what saved her was that she stayed in the house. If somebody's attacking you, don't go running after them. Stay in the house.
Right.
Stay in the house, and he was in the backyard, and they were yelling at him, and they had cameras around showing that they were yelling at him. That's what saved her, because that guy, turned out to be unarmed, but all he had to say was, "I wasn't doing nothing."
Right.
Is him in your backyard a threat?
Right.
Just staying there.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah.
So, yes,
having cameras is
have
important.
the cameras, yes. And remember, if he's just standing there, yes, he's on your property, but is he a threat to you?
Right.
I mean, but he screwed up, took that step toward him. He was done.
Absolutely. I think an interesting gray area I think about a lot of that situation is you've got the situation of shoot, no shoot, right? But then you also have brandish or not, right? Because
true, brandishing can be a threat if they're unarmed,
and it can be a crime because it's a felony to brand. If you flash a gun at someone,
wave it around.
It's a felony. I'm sure some people do.
Get back!
I got a gun.
What? What are you doing?
You cut me off in traffic.
Unfortunately, that's happened.
It does happen.
That's happened. They point at you. Yeah. Ooh, dude.
Yeah, it does happen. There was a kid in my high school that did that. He had a fake gun, and he waved it at a car, but it looked real. It was I think it was like pellet gun, so it looked kind of real. And it was an off-duty cop. Got in big trouble. Yeah.
Lucky to get shot, dude.
Totally. Yeah, dude, absolutely.
Don't play with that.
Right.
But you got the people like do the old flasher gun.
Yeah. But I think there could be some situations though where just making sure that they know you have one can help eliminate a problem. It depends on you and the situation. Right.
Remember, you got to be able to articulate everything that happened when the police do show up.
Right.
Like, I tried to get away. This guy kept coming.
Right.
Then it's okay to put that. That's one time you can put him at gunpoint and go, and you better say that, look, I am backing away. Stay away from me. Stay away. Okay. If this guy's crazed and keeps coming, you might be justified.
Yeah, absolutely.
But believe me, just keep your head, which is, I think you want, keeping your head staying calm is a lot easier if you train with the weapon. That way
Absolutely.
you're confident. You know when to shoot, when not to shoot. You know what the weapon can do, what it can't do.
Right.
But too many people don't do that.
Absolutely.
I got people who are like, well, I want a gun because I feel better having it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to hurt nobody? I know you don't want to hurt anybody, but do you take it to the range? No. Are you familiar with the weapon? Well, not really. They just want it there.
Right.
I want it sitting there on the counter of a coffee table.
Right. I don't think a training should be a prerequisite for being able to exercise your rights to have a gun. But
It's a good thing.
as a person, you should want to learn how to use a gun.
Yes.
That should be the thing. In society, it should be like a thing where people are. It's considered to be like very disrespectful to have a gun and not have some knowledge of it, how to be
Yes.
safe with it and
It's
proficient
foolish.
with it. It is. It legitimately is very foolish.
Dude.
Oh, you ever be around someone that's bad with gun safety? Oh, it's the
That's
worst.
scary too. Like, whoa, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Put that
exactly.
down.
Yeah.
No requirement. No. Should we make it a requirement to have a weapon, be trained? No. But you're a fool if you don't.
Right.
You're a fool.
If it's going to be a requirement, it should be done in school.
Yes. Yes.
You know, but like before they're adults, before they're even old enough to buy a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And show proof that you went through this, that you've been trained on a weapon. that you're
Well,
familiar.
not to necessarily buy the gun, but to graduate high school or something. You know,
Why not?
I think it's crazy that that's the problem. Is our society it's a fight. Guns, no guns. Guns, no guns. And because of that fight, we don't do things that should be done, like teach people about gun safety in school.
Well, the NRA used to be real big on that.
Yeah.
Teach gun safety and classes and
Yeah,
all
they
that.
got that. Was it Eddie Eagle or some corny thing, like some cartoon?
Plus,
The NRA has too bad of a reputation. There needs to be some organization that is truly unpolitically motivated that can do that.
like the NRA used to be.
Right,
It was
right.
about gun safety and hunting and all that.
Right.
Well, but hunting is gone. But people don't hunt like they used to.
Right.
And I think it's very easy to sit if you're your average Joe suburbanite.
Right.
You know, what do we need a gun for? Let's knock on that door
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning. You're gonna be thinking where the gun's at.
Right.
Shotgun, by the way, home defense.
Oh,
Shotgun.
exactly. Yeah. What kind of shotgun do you have, or what's your favorite?
What's that? I got that Mossberg.
Mossberg?
My God.
Oh,
It's the way to go. Double alt.
Yeah, I used to be a big Remington guy with shotguns, but I kind of converted to Mossberg just because Mossbergs are so solid. They're just so solid.
It's also shotgun. If you get you can get real skill with a shotgun. It's not only for home defense, but for anything that might happen outside the home.
Right.
Shotgun can do the job. So if you learn how to be accurate with slugs, look out.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
There's nothing more devastating and powerful
Oh
than
my
a shotgun
God.
slug.
Oh my God, dude.
It's like 75 caliber or something.
What 2,000 feet a second? Or some shit like
Maybe
that?
not quite that fast, but that's pretty damn fast for an ounce of lead. But I think usually slugs are more in the 1,400 range.
Okay.
But that's fast.
Yeah,
for
in the
huge-
Army, they only use slugs. They don't use buckshot. They use slugs
Yeah.
only. Which, as far as penetration, you can't beat it. Oh,
Yeah. Oh no.
So
Yeah.
that, and also psychologically, your average Joe, if he hears you rack that shotgun,
Right.
Any rational person is going to run for the hills.
Absolutely.
Going to run for the hills.
You know, it's funny. I have this. I have a joke I do in my act about that, and I've put it online before, and people give me a hard time about it because it's So there's this thing in the gun culture where people consider certain things to be like what they call FUD myths, right? And one of them is that racking the shotgun thing. But I think they're wrong about that.
They're wrong.
I even saw a video with a Navy SEAL where he said that where if he hears a shotgun rack, like he's going out the door and come up with a new plan. You know what I mean? This is a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Right? The argument that they make is that, you know, they try to correlate it to the carrying with around your chamber of the pistol, right? If you have a shotgun, it should already have a round in the chamber.
Okay.
You know, my thought though, I've always looked at a shotgun as kind of a secondary thing. Like my pistol is my number one.
Yes.
You know, that's if someone busts through my actual bedroom door, I'm grabbing the pistol.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's ready to go. The shotgun is kind of like I have time. That's
You're
what
right.
I'm getting if
You're
I have
right,
some
yeah.
time.
We got
right?
time to go get it. Yeah.
Right, and I'm probably gonna have a pistol also.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the idea that has no value, right?
It does.
And then the thing is, okay, you rack the gun. Well, now it's loaded. So what's it? I don't know. To me, that I think
More likely, you work that action,
right.
the problem's gonna be solved right.
Right, and it's so quick to do that.
Yeah.
What situation are you going to be in? Where you're going to get killed because you didn't have time to go.
there.
You know.
It's probably if they are in earshot of you doing that, they're done.
Right.
They're done. You're probably the situation will probably avoid it right there.
Absolutely.
So I'm telling you.
Also, if you were that worried about it, you could keep it loaded, and you could just rack it and just catch the round or let it fall. And you were loaded from all directions. I mean, I don't know. I think people get. I get annoyed sometimes, but guns are obviously a very ego thing, right?
For
it's
too
like
many people, yeah.
right. It's like cars or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes people let their egos get in the way of actual like being rational about
Gun
certain
sense, yeah.
some situations. You know.
And how many people? Again, we could, like I said, America is very. Even people that don't like weapons will buy one.
Right.
I've noticed that. People that are anti-gun will go out and get one. Well, why? I thought you were anti-gun. Yeah, but just in case.
Which is crazy to be like. I think other people shouldn't have this, but I'm going to have it.
Yeah, what the hell? You know, hey, dude, if you don't like it so much, why you have one? If that crazy
Right.
maniac crashes through that window, try reasoning with it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah. So no, we see a lot of violence out there with weapons. But then if it wasn't weapons, it would be knives. Violence is just inherent to our society.
Right.
That's the problem England has.
Thank God we live in a gun era. Imagine living in the sword days. Sword days a little tougher for you than me, but aside from that, the sword days not good.
Well, that's all they had. I mean, that's what they had. A sword and dagger. Come on, let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
man. Like those big battles they'd have back in the day with sword. Like, how do you get? You're not getting through that without getting.
You're gonna get hurt.
Severely hurt.
It's just a matter of how much you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Which I found out that most of those battles, people didn't have swords. They had
like spears and stuff?
clubs and axes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the idea was you got the big armored knight coming at you, right? You couldn't take him
the
down with a
weight.
sword. You hit him, that was to knock him over. Or they found, I saw this thing where they did an excavation of a medieval battle site, and most of the wounds were to the legs. Because you swung, got him in the legs, he tipped over, he was done.
Oh,
And then you finished him off with your dagger.
Oh, yeah, you find like a crack somewhere.
Crack and finished him off.
Interesting.
But there were times, but people, you really had to want to kill them back then because there was no shoot them from 100 yards away. No.
Yeah.
You had to go this close and hack this guy with a knife. I mean, when you hit him with the axe, blood from him is going to squirt on you.
Right.
So
I do feel like, though, as I think there's this idea out there that as weapons get more and more deadly, that we're less and less safe. But if you think about it this way, weapons being more and more deadly, it causes wars or conflicts to be further and further away from each other. And eventually we'll have to be so far away that maybe we'll just stop doing it.
as far as weapons
Like, I
go,
can't even see that guy. So
advanced weapons make war harder. That's the problem we got in Ukraine now.
Right.
You giving these guys Bradleys and they won't give them Abrams and F-16s. They don't have the infrastructure or the people to work on that stuff.
Right.
Weapons
the
like
training,
that,
yeah.
exactly. Weapons like that need a lot of support.
Right.
That's why U.S. Army is as big as it is. You got Bradley. You need people to do the maintenance on the vehicle, maintenance on the systems.
Right, because a tank on its own is very vulnerable, right?
Yeah, well, no, tank by itself, yes, very vulnerable. Plus, the maintenance it takes to keep that tank going.
Oh,
they burn
right.
through fuel. Have you got the fuel support to keep giving it the gas it needs?
Yeah.
So war and new weapons makes war harder.
Yeah.
They want to just give these guys this stuff to do what?
Yeah.
Rusky stuff. It's old, but it works.
Yeah.
Very basic.
Yeah.
In fact, they'll put their like they love the AK. They swear by the AK.
Yeah.
Which you can't do nothing to it.
Right. You can't.
They work.
Yeah.
Now M4, you better take care of it.
Oh, yeah,
You
for
better
sure. Yeah, speaking of tanks, did it ever bother you that because you served in Iraq and Somalia, you didn't get to do that cool thing where you ride on the tank because it was too hot?
No, I never got to.
You know, like they did in World War II?
I missed that one. Yeah, riding on tanks. And
Like, oh, it's too hot up here.
The Ruskies do that. Still do that.
Do they? Okay.
When they took over Crimea, I remember seeing that in 2014. They roll across that bridge, guys on the top of these T-72s.
Oh, yeah.
And then they stopped, they jumped off. Looks very cool.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
But if they're waiting for you, look out.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they're waiting for you, oh my God.
Yeah, you don't want to be on a tank when the
You'll
tank
be
is getting fired
in
up.
the tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the best thing to do when you see a tank is to shoot at it.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because when they're outside the tank, when the crew's outside the tank, they got a 360 view. You start shooting at them, they button up inside. Now their view goes from 360 to 30.
Oh, interesting.
So you can be right next to them. They can't see you. That's
Interesting.
why they have to have infantry guys around them.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, so
Interesting. I
next
didn't know
time
that.
you fight the tank, remember that.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I will remember that. It's been crazy. Some of the old weapons that have been resurfacing during that war. A lot of World War II stuff.
They're pulling out Mosin and Nagants.
Yeah.
What the hell,
Yeah.
Vlad? What the hell? I mean,
Remember, bring the mic just a little bit closer.
all
So I can
right,
hear- they
there
can
you
hear
go.
Yeah.
The right distance. Okay. Yeah, I was amazed. But I think maybe we made the Russians more than what they were all these years.
It does seem that way. What it kind of seems like is maybe the Russians were peacocking a little bit, where sure they have super advanced technology, but they don't have it to scale.
Yeah, or the amount that we portray them as having.
Right, because they're mostly using the T-72s because they have some kind of tank that's really sophisticated.
And they've been getting they deployed.
not using it.
They deployed it. No, I think they just started deploying
did
it,
they?
and they got the hell blown out of it.
Really? Okay.
I mean, the Ruskies are still using trench warfare, dude.
That's
What
crazy.
the hell? What the trench warfare? Even
Yeah.
Americans are like, what?
Yeah, some of the footage I've been seeing from out of there, it's like, what is it?
Trench warfare? What the hell?
Time travel.
Mass attacks. That stuff you saw in Enemy at the Gates with the mass humans running toward them. They use criminals. Look, we'll cut your sentence.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We'll expunge your sentence. Just here's this gun. Ukrainians are that way.
And the next guy in the line just gets a magazine.
Yeah, I've heard that. Dude. I mean, but they got the people for that.
Right.
And the only place you could do that is a dictatorship.
Wow.
Because you're not going to do that in democracy.
What about this? I don't know if you probably have some insight into the private contracting stuff. I heard when this war first broke out and some Americans were going over there as private contractors, I heard that they were actually intentionally setting up Americans to be killed because they thought that could help drag America into the war.
Okay, that wouldn't work because America's very big. If you want to go over there and fight, go.
Right.
But ain't nobody going to come running when you get your head blown off.
Yeah.
Hey, it's up to you. Contractors, I think they got like a foreign legion that you show up over there. Hey, I want to fight. Okay, stand over there.
Yeah.
And they give you an AK, off you go. But as far as U.S. contractors, nah, probably not. I'm wondering who's working on these Bradleys and American equipment because I know the Ukrainians ain't got the people for that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that we got to have guys over there. In fact, I know we do.
Yeah.
Hey,
We
told them that the Russians were coming.
Yeah.
When the Ruskies were going to do their invasion of Kiev, do that airborne jump into Kiev and take the airport, the CIA was like, "Hey, they're coming.
Yeah.
Dude, get ready."
Yeah.
And they were waiting for them. So good. I don't think the Ukrainians will quit because they've seen that they can win.
Right.
But at what point do they say, "All right,
Eventually they run out of money and resources.
money, people"?
Of course, I guess not if we're continuing to give it to them.
Well, they're running out of people. The Russians. Sorry, I don't want to
It's
offend.
like if I had a World War II veteran on the podcast. Yeah, the Krauts. Oh, I'm sorry, the Germans. I'm sorry.
I don't want to offend any of your Russian viewers. The Russians got the people and the time to just keep feeding people in there.
Right.
Because it's a dictatorship. In a long dragged out war, a war of attrition, they're going to win.
Yeah.
So when do the Ukrainians say, "Look, we're going to have to make peace"?
Right.
Right now they're saying we're going to get it all back, but is that realistic?
Yeah, some kind of compromise will have to happen, I guess.
The Ukrainians are like, "No, we beat your ass once. We're going to do it again."
Right.
Yeah, but what if, depending on what happens next year, are we going to cut the money off to them?
Right.
Poland sent them, planes?
I think so.
And tanks.
Germany, I think even.
Germany did.
Yeah.
Whoa, and that really set the Russians off. Whoa,
bet.
the Germans. Whoa, by God, just like
Didn't we
40,
kick
just
your
like
ass
43.
before?
By God.
Yeah. You know, I remember when this first happened. I heard about that. Like there was some. They were talking about the tanks rolling through certain villages, and it was like reminiscent.
Yes.
You know, of 1941.
Yes. In fact, that's the way Putin framed it. We're going to fight Nazism. Really, Vlad?
Yeah.
Man. But again, one reason Putin is so successful is his people are closed off. The only information they get is from Russian sources.
It's like North Korea.
Yeah, exactly. Which the Russians are going to North Korea with their hand out, asking for shit.
Oh,
He
weird.
just met with
North Korea. They don't have shit, probably.
Well, what they sell. They make the drones. They
North
make
Korea
those.
does.
Yeah, North
Interesting.
Korea does. They make the drones, and they got a bunch of old Soviet stuff.
Okay.
That the Russians gave them
So,
before.
hey, we need that back.
I know we said you can have it,
Yeah.
but could you give it back?
Yeah.
But you're going to North Korea asking for equipment.
Yeah.
Also, China, they're asking them for MREs too.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Interesting.
dude. I'm like, so was Russia ever the big bear that we thought it was?
Right, yeah,
Or
it
did
may
we
not have
just
been.
say that to justify our budget?
Right.
Okay.
What's scary is how China, what their place in all this is. You know, that it does seem like China is probably the true military threat.
Yeah.
Even then, I mean, maybe I'm a bit delusional, but I feel like we don't really have anyone that a war is always going to be bad, but that is a true threat to our military just because of how powerful it is and the allies we have.
Well,
You know, with the
China's
Navy
getting there.
and the Air Force. You know,
China's a new threat. Problem, they're getting aggressive.
right?
And what are we going to do about it? We can't even find anybody to join the army now. Shit.
That's true. Yeah. Things could change. I tell you, it's interesting. Have you noticed, but this younger generation coming up, there seems to be a very defined split, I've noticed, right? You've got a lot of young kids that are kind of, doing the, the purple hair thing and, being super, super progressive, right? And they're into all that.
Yeah.
But I've noticed this trend about young people. They're dressing like, they're like bringing back the mullets,
Oh my
and stuff like that. The mullet and the mustache, right? So, but it's kind of a resistance to the overly kind of like the woke culture type stuff, and I think overly sensitive, And there's like a thing where it's like, all right, let's bring like being a real man back, It seems kind of corny the way that it's being played out with young people, but
I don't know, man. I mean,
maybe there'll be a time again though when.
manly men be out there,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
God, chopping wood and all
exactly,
that shit.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like what I've seen is a lot of these young dudes don't want to leave the house.
Right.
I'm like, back in the last century, it was understood.
Right.
Hey, dude, we're going to teach you to be independent and be self-sufficient because the day will come when you're leaving here.
Right.
And that was understood. But not anymore, apparently.
People eating up with their phones and video games. But again, there could be a culture shift, though, because I feel like as each new generation comes up, they see the one before them, and they're able to kind of look at it objectively. And sometimes they're wrong about what they reject, right? But sometimes they're right, I feel like it could be, this is probably wishful thinking, but it could be there's a generation that comes up where they see people obsessed with their phones, and they don't want to do that. They look down on that. They think that's stupid.
Well, we all think we know it's bad. I
Right.
mean, we know that's not a good thing.
Right.
Like the granddaughter told me that the guys can't even talk to women anymore.
Yeah.
Not face to face.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So how you expect to
There's no
Yeah.
in-person communication.
Yeah, being in front of people is like, oh, anxiety. What
Right.
the hell, dude? So we got work to do.
Definitely.
And as far as the Army, dude, I can imagine what it's like to be out there recruiting people or to. In fact, I read the article today. These guys say they don't want to leave home. They don't want to get killed. They don't like violence. What? I don't like violence. What kind of upbringing?
Yeah. Who are these kids?
What they teaching in these schools? Don't like violence. What the hell? So
That's so funny.
I don't know. Jesus.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I try to be optimistic, but you never know. I try to be one of those guys that's like, it's all going to hell,
Don't be the bitter old guy.
Yeah.
By God, it's over, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, try to see the good in people. Yes, you should. Abraham Lincoln said that, look, if you look for the bad in people, you'll always see it.
Oh, right.
You will. So, yes, always try to see the good. And we're going to hope for the best.
Yep.
And
aliens are going to save us. You saw those little bodies, right? See that?
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Place north of here, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Okay.
They have that festival there every year for the UFO.
Oh, really?
1955. Supposedly,
Interesting.
this family in this cabin in outside of Hoptown, Kentucky, they said they saw this saucer-like ship land out in the field. And these little guys got out. And then one of them walked up to the window of their cabin. And us being good Americans like we are, they pulled the shotguns and blasted him. They said they hit him with a 12-gauge blast. He got up and went back in the ship, and they took off. And they have a festival there every year to commemorate that. You know, they could have been having a cure for cancer. I want to solve hunger. That's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yep.
And they're back in space going, don't go back there.
Right.
Don't go down there.
That's crazy. That's interesting if that's true. It's like they're small, but their skin is so durable enough to handle a shotgun blast.
Dude. I'm guessing it was like a double barrel.
Right.
It wasn't like a Mossberg, 5.
Right. And yeah, maybe it was like a suit that he was wearing,
Yeah, no.
and they knew what we had.
That's right.
You know, or like a force field, Star Wars. You know.
Don't go out there. You know, to think of that. Oh,
Yeah.
should we go down there? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're pretty violent. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Look what they do to each other. Why am I going to go down there?
Or they might be like, we used to do that. We used to do that all the time.
That's what the Vulcans say, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or it was on Family Guy. He went to heaven, and he says, God says, man, I don't know what's going on with you people down there. I sent my son down there, and man, he ain't been the same since.
That's funny.
So hopefully they'll bring us up, and the aliens will come.
Yeah, hopefully.
Watching your podcast, right?
Yeah,
now.
exactly. They're watching. Yeah. I've always been kind of into that stuff. We talked about it in the past,
Aliens?
It's an unprecedented amount of information on it now. Like there's all these legitimate sightings from fighter pilots and.
Why don't they just land right there, outside right there?
Right.
I'm here.
Right, that's the thing.
Okay.
Maybe they are, and the government, they're already interacting with the government. They don't want us to know yet. Or they're trying to trickle it in.
Okay. Okay.
We can't handle it. We can't handle it all
That's what it
at
is.
once.
That's what it is. You think, what will happen if aliens landed on the White House lawn, got out? Okay, we're here, people. Good people
Right.
of Earth. Good people of Earth. We are here.
Yeah.
Everybody would think the worst case scenario. They would.
Yeah.
Like that episode of Twilight Zone. It's a cookbook.
Oh, right.
That's what
Yeah, exactly.
they're gonna eat us. Why? The aliens are like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Why are you running?
Yeah. For some reason, I have a feeling nowhere in the galaxy is human flesh a delicacy. I don't know why I feel that way. I thought
Only the white ones, right? We like white meat. Nah, get back out.
it has no flavor, the white meat. It's very bland.
Hey, I'm fine with that, dude. We don't eat white meat. Okay, all right. All right, I understand.
Like, I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, my God.
We said Twilight Zone. I thought you were going to say that one of my favorite Twilight Zones is the one with there's a lady living in like some farmhouse.
Yeah, in the little tour. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they come down the stairs and they're zapping her. And she's got the pitchfork.
And he's beating them with the broom and all that shit. And
Right.
then the last one goes out. You hear a voice in English say, "Don't come here. Giants are here." And it's U.S. U.S. Space Station.
Right,
or
right.
something?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm sure they're out there watching us now.
Yep.
But if they're smart, they probably know we couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Which the fact that they could get here.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do to them?
Yeah. Hang on. Are you good for taking a break for a second? I got to pee really bad.
Okay.
All right.
Pee break.
Yeah, pee break.
Pee break.
All right, we're back.
Back from the pee break. Everything came out well. Thank you.
I was trying so hard to hold it. I was like, maybe I can make it to the end, but
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
So where were we? Aliens, yes.
Right, yeah. Oh, well, here's
You
what
don't have to pee?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Do they? I guess.
probably. Here's when I realized that I had to stop and take a piss when it was starting to affect my thought process because I was like, I can't even focus on this conversation. I have to pee so bad.
That's what you got to
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, the alien thing is fascinating to me, of course, but I can't help but be suspicious also of how much information is coming out all of a sudden. Like, why now? You know what I mean?
Well,
You had that thought?
we also had videotape where the F-18s were chasing this thing over the Pacific.
Right.
And they couldn't lock on it, but it was doing all these high-speed maneuvers.
Right.
And one of the F-18 pilots said, look, hey, man, look, I am an intelligent person. I've been flying jets for 30 years. I am not crazy. That's what I saw. I saw something out there.
Right.
And, okay, when you got legitimate people going, hey, there's something over there. But that's not saying what it is either, though.
Right.
You know, and I got to wonder, why here?
Yeah.
Why would aliens come here?
True. That's the thing. We don't. That's the big question. Of course, we don't know how rare Earth is.
Come on, we can't be just us. No way.
Oh no, for sure.
Come on,
No, definitely not. But we don't know. A planet like this could actually be pretty rare. It's possible because a lot of things have to be lined up perfectly.
Well, true, but Jay Leno made a joke 30 years ago. He said, "What if the aliens use us like a pit stop to take a piss?"
Oh, yeah.
He said, hey, the kid's like, we gotta take a pee, Daddy. Yeah, the blue one. Come on. Whatever. Yeah. So that's probably what it is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just like same thing happens just here happens to aliens. You know, they're going through space. I gotta take a piss.
That's right.
That one. All right, come on. All right. The moon? No. The blue one. The blue one.
Right. It's like you're flying from L.A. to Tokyo. You got to stop in Hawaii. You know. Check it out.
So, no, we like to think, oh, they're interested. No, they're not. Well, why?
Yeah.
Why? What, dude, we just learned how to fly, 100 years ago?
Yeah.
And they what?
Right.
What's that movie? The Coneheads. They're sitting there.
Right. Yeah.
They're sitting there having breakfast.
Right.
And they're like reading the paper. It's the 40th anniversary of man making it to the moon. And they look at each other and they laugh. The moon. Right. That's what they're doing. Come on.
I'll tell you what, though. If I saw some ants farming, it'd be interesting. You know?
Which is what they think. Yeah. So hopefully the guy who made that movie, 2001: Space Odyssey.
Stanley Kubrick, right? Is that a Kubrick?
He made the movie. The guy who wrote the book,
gotcha.
whoever his name was. He says.
Stephen King? No.
He says, should we be trying to reach anybody?
Right.
I mean, look how we are to each
Yeah.
other. If we keep beaming, shit out into space, and then the wrong person hears it, what's to stop them from coming here and conquering our?
Yeah.
I mean, look how we are.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's taking all of our resources.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're gonna take the gold, the copper, and what's the buffet like? Yeah, get the humans. Them. Yeah. Okay. Don't run them too much to get the meat gets tough when you do that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Come on. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, let's give them computer jobs.
I saw Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Great book, by the way. You should try to read it.
Okay.
It takes place 3,000 years in the future. I'm trying to
something
think.
like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And the apes, all of a sudden, we blow ourselves up.
Yeah.
And then the apes become intelligent. And unfortunately, it's strange that they do a lot of stuff that humans did.
Yeah.
In their attitudes toward, humans and even different apes.
Right.
So people are the same. I mean,
Right.
I hate to say it. I'm afraid that when the aliens come here, they're gonna be a lot like us,
Right.
which is scary.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's a natural progression to like how a species develops over time, and that's what, another thing that's interesting to me is we don't know. Like they might have the ability to travel here. It's possible that there's maybe like there's a simple solution to being able to do that. We just haven't stumbled on it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's possible they might not be as crazy as advanced.
It's just an obvious answer that it's so obvious we didn't think of it.
Right. Like I thought before, I was talking about this earlier. Like, what if you went back in time 100 years, let's say, and you just started everything over, and just let it all play out naturally again, but just differently.
Yeah.
Right. There'd be different things like we'd probably have cell phones, but the brands would be different, and it might have been invented later or earlier or whatever. You know, so there could be things like maybe the internet isn't invented in the 90s or whatever. It's not discovered until now or later. You know what I mean? So the period of time when things are developed could be totally different.
True, and also would it be developed the same way? Because in the movie Planet of the Apes, the guy talked about the apes were made. When the guy said, "Well, I flew on a ship here," and they went, "Flew?" And he said, "Yeah, I flew on a ship and landed here," and they said, "Flying is a physical impossibility, and even if it was possible, why?"
Right? Yeah. Why would you do that?
Why would you do it? And I'm sure there were humans before the Wright brothers that thought the same thing. Why fly? So I'm sure there are answers out there. They're out there. We just gotta figure out where.
I like Planet of the Apes. I've never understood the ending. Like, why did he hate statues of women so much? I never got that.
All right.
It's like I followed the movie all up to that point, and it's like it just ends with him being mad about a statue of a woman. I don't get it.
All right. Okay. Oh, good point.
Did you ever see the? I saw that like that. There was the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, the new one.
With which was
all
okay.
the hot chicks. How come? Okay, all right. I'm gonna say it. How come everybody in the future is hot looking and in shape? What the hell? Where the fat guys at?
It's Hollywood future.
Oh, that's Hollywood future. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
All the cave women are always hot looking.
That's
Look
right.
like they just came out the beach in California. What the hell?
Yeah. In the future, maybe there's like a way you can just everyone's hot in the future. You know, you can just create your own body, whatever you want. You know?
Or let's say aliens come. We only take it to hot people. Okay, I guess that lets me
That's
out.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh well, I guess I'll be safe.
Yeah.
Back to the sightings. We went to Savannah last year, and we went to Savannah and we did Charleston, and then after we left, the day after we left, a park ranger said he made a Bigfoot sighting.
Oh, really?
In one of the parks north of Charleston. Okay, again, someone who's credible.
Right.
Says they saw a 8-foot tall.
Interesting.
Hairy. Okay, you got my attention.
What do you think? What's your take on Bigfoot? Do you think it's possible?
Why not? Why not?
I mean, true.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, believe it or not, in America, there are vast areas that are just unoccupied.
Right.
In the northwest. If you ever been to East Alabama, there ain't nothing there, by God. Also,
Red dirt.
That area of South Carolina too, north of Charleston, vast wilderness area, national park area.
Yeah.
So could something exist out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
In fact, northwest of Nashville. What was it? The what's that park? That park out there in a place called Dixon. What's that park? Montgomery Bell.
Oh right. Yeah.
1972. Some kid, which ain't that long ago. I know it seems like a long time ago, but these kids said they saw a large canine type creature in their garbage in daylight, and they claim 7 to 8 feet tall. How do you miss that?
Oh wow.
You know, it's 1972, so it's been a while ago, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, which Dixon, Montgomery Bell State Park, very heavily forested, middle of nowhere.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's very possible.
So I don't cast doubt. For anything.
Definitely not. I've heard one explanation for the Bigfoot phenomenon is that some bears will walk on their 2 feet, but I feel like you would know the difference.
Oh yes, you would. Thank you. You took words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, you would.
It's a bear. No.
Yeah.
It's a Bigfoot. You know, he's had hands. He's he's playing the drums. Come on.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because it's like was gonna say, like Superman when he has the costume on, no one knows it's Superman. It's like that with a bear. Like he's standing up, it's like that's not a bear. It can't be a bear. It's Bigfoot.
We don't know. I think there's a much. I think it's good that there are things that we don't understand.
Right.
That there's the unknown. About a year ago, I took somebody on a road trip down to Georgia. They're into the paranormal thing, and there's a cemetery at St. Simon's Island. It was made in 1732, and so the legend says that this individual comes out to visit his wife's grave every night, and leaves a candle on the grave.
Okay.
All right, we drive like 80 miles to get there. We get there, we're in this the middle of the swamp, a 200-year-old cemetery. We pull up to this old stone wall, and we get out, look, and there it is.
Oh, really?
There's a light flickering back through the trees.
Okay.
I'm like, there it is. Let's go. I hop the fence. As I'm running through the tombstones, I look around. There's nobody around me.
Yeah.
I look back there, and she's back there on the side of the road. What are you doing? She says, I'm not going out there. I'm like, you wanted to do this. You want this. Yeah, but I'm not going over there. So, okay, all right. Mystery remains unsolved. Okay, fine. So, I think the same thing applies to aliens. People will talk about them, but do you want to see one?
It'd be scary. Well, did you hear about the one in Vegas?
What's that?
There was a crash in Vegas, and I saw they interviewed this guy that saw it. It was a UFO that crashed in Vegas. It was like a few months ago, and the guy said there was some sort of tall, slender figure. It was hiding behind a garbage can or a dumpster, and when he made eye contact with it, it paralyzed him. And then when it looked away, he could move again. But then if it looked at him again, he was paralyzed.
But BS.
Terrifying, if that's true.
Well, yes.
As an alien and I can't move? Great.
Dude, okay, how do we not recover wreckage or some shit like that?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's so hard to know. Are these stories bullshit? Are people? Do people just want attention, or is the government like really good at covering them up?
I think if you came back with proof, if you came back with, okay, this is an ashtray from, they smoke, they're real bad.
Yeah. That would be hilarious. They're super advanced, but they can still smoke inside. Like, damn it, you guys are so cool.
Smoking, God. If you brought back like an ashtray, some kind of material that's not found on the earth, unknown to our science. Okay, all right, but short of that, like in Hellboy, the manager said the guy who managed Hellboy said, "How come all these pictures of aliens are always out of focus?
Right,
they're always from a long way off, and they're out of focus."
It's because they have their out of focusinator on. Hey, we're visiting a strange planet. Make sure you turn your out of focus.
I think that people would be cool with aliens if they were like Paul. Remember that movie?
Right. Yeah, that was a great movie.
He'd be like, yeah, come on. He'd be like, dude, what are you waiting for? You're cool. Get in here.
Right.
He'd be doing on the podcast right here with
us. Exactly. Yeah. That's when that's when it's over as a conspiracy and as a fact when an alien is on Joe Rogan's podcast.
So we're cool with them as long as they're cool, but I think what scares people is that what will scare too many people is if it's some kind of that movie, The Alien Invaded New York. Which one?
Independence Day?
Not Cloverfield. Cloverfield?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. Okay.
These people they're on Coney Island, and then way out in the distance of the water, they see a splash. Oh, what's that? No problem. Never mind. Next thing you know, there's a 50-foot alien walking down Broadway smashing shit.
That's not what you want.
So they're cool with the Paul, and maybe E.T. and all that, phoning home. They're cool with that.
Yeah.
But the minute the alien starts to kick ass, oh, shit.
Right.
Okay. All right. Or zombies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Which is what really scares people because that's us.
As long as they're the slow ones, I'm okay with it. Not these 28 days later running zombies.
Run the 440 and die.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about the paranormal thing in Savannah, just doing that kind of stuff in Savannah because Savannah isn't famously supposed to be the most haunted.
Coming from the South, very big on voodoo and hoodoo. Voodoo is casting spells. Hoodoo is lifting them.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's very paranormal. I went with this individual to this place It's called the Sorrel Plantation.
Let it bring the mic just a little bit. Yeah, sorry. That's why the headphones are important. But we don't have
That's
them.
right. The Sorrel Plantation House. You go there. Legend states that during the 1850s, Massa apparently he liked his brown sugar. He liked messing around with slaves. He did. Yes, he did. And when his new bride found out, she's like, "Oh my God, a master screwing slaves." She went up there to the top of the roof and she threw herself off. And she fell about, 40, 50 feet, and then right there on the concrete. Well, the stone.
Right.
They didn't have concrete back then, I guess.
Yeah.
And now she haunts the joint. So
interesting.
And people have gone there and they take that thing where you take a picture of yourself in the mirror, and then once you develop the film,
there's something.
there's something back there.
That's terrifying.
I'm like, whoa, dude. Okay. So I don't scoff. I don't scoff at none of that crap because I don't know.
There's an awful lot of credible stories. I
don't
think
know.
there's some truth to it.
I don't know because we don't know. I mean, I think my experience, there's been more. There's been things to show me that there's more to this life than what we can see.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I 100%
so I don't
agree.
know. I'm not gonna say. Well, all right.
Yep. I think I've always thought a possibility of what ghosts are is there's like if there's multiple dimensions.
Yep.
Right. It's almost like a glitch in the Matrix or whatever, where you're seeing the past. It may be hauntings tend to be centered around some sort of traumatic event, right? So maybe there's like an emotional state that can almost like trigger some sort of, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Like you can see what's
right.
What you previously
Yeah, I mean there
see.
could be an actual scientific explanation for why this phenomenon happens.
Probably nothing we can understand, but it's something's there. I'll admit that. My experience. Remember that movie Sausage Party?
Yeah, I did.
The fourth dimension. What's this guy smoking that the hot dogs start talking to him?
Right, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
All right, whatever, dude. Whatever, man. Cool. But
It's in. So supposedly, there's like obviously places in Chicago they're supposed to be haunted or whatever. One of them is where Dillinger got shot, which I've been to a bunch of times. And I've always thought, how do you, if you went to where Dillinger got shot and there was a ghost, how would you even know it was him?
yeah, who knows?
Could have been a guy
Dillinger
got killed
if
in
you saw
the
him.
80s.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know? Yeah.
Right.
We went to the what's that? There's a cemetery in a huge cemetery in Savannah, and we got there, and their local legend said there's this grave from this little 6-year-old girl that died like 100 years ago, right? But people said they've seen her downtown.
Wow.
So we tried to get to the gravesite. Where us being there, we Scooby-Dooed up there,
Yeah.
and we tried to see if we could catch her rising from the grave and shit. What are we gonna do if she does? If we do see her, what are we gonna do? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we get there, the gate's closed. The old lady looks under this tree about 30 yards away. And there it was. Something.
Wow.
I am as skeptical as they come.
Yeah.
But I looked over there, and there was something under that tree.
Like a person?
The outline of something.
Okay.
Did I hang around to see what? No, I'm not going to do the.
Yeah.
Let's go investigate. No,
Yeah.
get in the car. We're out of here.
Yeah.
We're out of here. Hey, so no, I would love to say I'm going to take my my spectrometer and go up there and and find out what this is. No, I ran like a rabbit. So,
I don't blame you.
I'm not even
It's
ashamed.
terrifying, yeah.
I'm not even ashamed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot out there, dude.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of. I've never seen one myself, but it'd be cool to see. The apartment I live in Chicago is this building that was built in 1885, and I was hoping it would be haunted, but I haven't seen anything yet. Just rats.
We're
all.
cool. We're usually cool with stuff like that as long as it's like Casper, the friendly ghost. We're that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. But we started seeing stuff like The Exorcist. Oh, dude, we're out.
Yeah. I'll tell you a creepy one is I got really big into the Amityville Horror Mansion at one point. And the movies are pretty good.
Yep.
And it's interesting, the history of all that. And they had some ghost hunter type, not the ghost hunters like the show, but back in the day, some people that investigate those kind of things.
Yep.
And they went in and they had this camera set up that took a photo every so often. And they went and looked through all their photos and didn't find anything except for one. There was a child like peeking around a corner in one of the photos.
Dude.
And there was no kids in there that they knew of.
Dude, no way, I'm out. Okay,
Yeah,
I got to say
terrifying.
this. I'm not the kind of guy that if I buy a house, okay, and we go in there, and all of a sudden is that a kid? Is that a little white kid peeking around the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, get
I'm
everybody
good.
back on the truck.
Yeah.
We're moving. We're not staying here. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. That's
Oh,
the stereotype. Black people, I'm out. I'm not staying in the house. Yeah, there was a murder here about 75, 150. No, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. No.
Indian burial ground. You know?
That's right. I'm out. I'm out. You should do
So
that.
why is the house built on a kind of a mound?
One thing that got my attention was the Williamsburg, Virginia. If you ever get a chance to go see that tour, go, because it is honestly terrifying.
Okay.
They have a monument there. This guy was a real jerk apparently during his lifetime, and when he finally croaked out, nobody cared, right? So he screwed a bunch of people over, and then he had this big monument, and then there was a lightning strike on the monument, and the image of a tortured man was left in that monument.
Really?
Yeah, I thought.
Interesting.
Whoa,
That's pretty crazy.
I was like, dude, yeah, dude, that's pretty legit,
That's
dude.
wild. Okay.
And then the tour ended, and we're like 6 miles from our car.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but forest and cemeteries between us. And we're like,
Yeah,
which way
we're-
back?
Yeah.
Which way back?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
dude, get a chance to go up there. Go. It's
Okay.
good. It's good.
Yeah,
Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out. Have you ever been to Gettysburg?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's you may have been there. There's this tavern that's kind of famous. It's in Gettysburg. It was a hospital during the Revolutionary War and the Battle of Gettysburg.
Oh, shit.
It has an active spring in the basement. They used to make
shit.
whiskey and stuff
shit.
down in there.
Okay.
And it's still a restaurant. You can go down there and eat. Go down there. It's ancient. Go down there and eat and
Whoa,
everything.
dude.
It's really cool. But that's a place. There's certain places where you just walk in there. You can just feel that a lot of stuff has happened in here.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
And I went to the hotel that Lincoln stayed at for his Gettysburg address.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And walk around Gettysburg at night. Dude,
Yeah, but that's interesting.
gets your attention.
I bet a lot of people died right there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
53,000. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that gave me the chills. I visited twice now. I visited the site of Waco.
Whoa.
The second time, it didn't hit me as hard because I guess I'd been there before, but I kind of thought it'd just be kind of cool to check it out. Can you even go there or whatever?
Yeah.
And so I went, and they actually, you know the story pretty well, I
Yeah.
imagine. So that church, the original church that they had, their building or the compound, they had a concrete foundation, which was about all that survived the fire.
Okay.
And they built a new church right on top of that original foundation. It's much smaller.
Okay.
It's much very small, and they have a memorial there for all the people that died and stuff.
Okay.
And there's something about standing there, right there, where all that happened, and they were all. I mean, it was like 70 something people were burned alive in
Were
that
they
building.
a doomsday cult?
Well, yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's people. That's the word is that they wanted to die, but that also could be government propaganda.
Yeah, when the ATF rolls up and you waste, what, how many agents got wasted when they shoot out?
I think 4. I think
Yeah,
they killed
I mean,
4.
you shoot the federal agents, that's not good.
No, it's not.
That's not good. That never works out well.
Right.
No.
They claim they shot first, but
Still,
it's like
dude, they're clearly marked. They're in uniform. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because you start trading shots with the federal government, dude, that's not going to work out.
right. It wasn't going to work out well, but it's still the way that it was handled though.
Yes, now
Bad.
ATF definitely messed up.
Yeah, and it was actually the FBI. So there's 2 kind of big mistakes that were made. I think the first one was that they didn't just arrest David Koresh.
Okay.
They could have just taken him in. They could have pulled him over in town or
Yep.
wherever.
Okay.
They could have had a couple of agents show up with a search warrant, right? But instead, what they did was they came in there tactical. They had guys loaded up in the back of these horse trailers.
Yep.
And they just came out in a stack full military style. And I think probably what happened was they shot their dogs and they heard the shots. So they
Okay.
thought they were shooting at them.
Okay.
And also David Koresh was preaching about how the government was going to kill him and
Yeah.
stuff. So that obviously added to it.
I'm thinking you knew weapons were out there too.
Right.
So should win at night. Should win at night.
Right. And then they fired back. And I think it's the largest gunfight on American soil.
True, and I think I read somewhere that also they were advised, ATF was advised that they know you're coming.
Right. Yeah,
Which,
they do, yeah.
Dude, stop right there.
Exactly.
We're done.
crazy.
Surround the place. Hey,
Right.
we just want him. The rest of you go on about your business.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
And then the second mistake, of course, they put the tear gas in there and then it caught on fire. They claim that the Branch Davidians started the fire, but there have been other instances of that tear gas catching on fire. Who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a shame that because there's a lot of kids. There's like 25 kids.
It was good that we learned, but a lot of lessons were learned, which is good. So God forbid it ever happens again.
Right.
Hopefully we'll handle it better. Hopefully. But that place, where is Waco anyway?
It's in Waco,
East
Texas,
Texas.
which is kind of it's between it's like north of Austin.
Okay.
Like the times I've gone down to Austin, Texas, coming from Dallas.
North Central Texas, right?
Right, kind of.
If
Or
you get
east. It's kind of southeast Texas.
because I keep thinking I know around about where it is. On the way back from Colorado, we stopped at that. The movie Castaway with
right.
Tom Hanks. That last scene was at the intersection.
Yeah.
We stopped there.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, it is the middle of nowhere.
Really? Okay.
It's like 40 miles to nothing.
Wow, that's crazy. They went all the way out there to film that.
I don't know whose idea it was to go out there.
Yeah.
But it is the middle of nowhere. We got a picture of us standing at the intersection.
That's so
just
cool.
like Tom Hanks. And
Is the house like that house that you put the package on still there?
it's like, about 5-6 miles up the road.
So
it's
far
not like
away.
right there.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no.
all right.
That intersection is the middle of nowhere.
Really?
Dude, oh my God, I don't know who, but we love hitting the movie sets. We go to places where they shot movies like The Hunger Games, which is actually the village for what? Where was Katniss from? 13, District 13.
Yeah, I think so. I forget. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the movie, but wherever she was from, we went there. That village is in western North Carolina.
Okay.
And we pulled over and we got shots of those cabins she stayed in. So,
Okay. Hey, you come to Chicago, I'll show you some of the Dark Knight scenes.
You're a Batman guy, right?
I like that movie. I like those.
like that.
But the scene in the Dark, you've seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The scene when they're under the street.
Yeah.
And the Joker rolls up, and he's shooting at the van, when Harvey Dent, is being taken in. That's called Lower Wacker Drive.
Okay.
And I've driven down there by accident before. It's a nightmare because it's like a weird tunnel and there's like a bunch of lanes. It's very confusing down there. But I remember driving through there and realizing, like, why does this look familiar? And I realized, like, and I remember they filmed that movie in Chicago, and I was like, oh, shit, this is where they filmed all those scenes.
Okay.
When you see when they're under the road. And, the whole movie was filmed there.
Dude, Chi-Town.
It's pretty cool.
So that, and we learned that when we end up in places that we shouldn't be in, private property, all you got to do is come up with a cover story. We tell them we're Hollywood film scouts. Hollywood location scouts.
Okay.
They lick it up.
Yeah.
They lick it up.
That's so funny.
They lick it up. Because what people do, they start seeing dollar signs.
Yeah.
And greed will overcome reason anytime.
Oh, right, yeah.
And,
that's smart.
We're like, what are you doing here? Well, we're from Paramount Pictures or MGM. We just make up a name. Yeah. And we're location scouts, so we got an upcoming movie, and we like to see this might be a good place to shoot a scene. Where's the owner at? Where's the owner? Get him out here now. And they're like, oh, yes, sir. They start showing us around.
Wow. That's funny.
Now, how much did you charge to rent this place? We'll need from there back. You start doing all that stereotypical Hollywood stuff. All that shit. What?
Yeah.
They lick it up.
Yeah.
They lick it up. That's
awesome. Now your cover's blown, though. Everyone in the country will hear this podcast.
That's right.
And they're going to be like, oh, this guy.
Now they won't believe it.
Exactly.
They go, I couldn't be him. No way. No, get out of here.
Yeah, you went to the Walking Dead locations, right?
In Sonoa, Georgia, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And Alexandria.
Were they just sets that were built, or
they were sets that were built. Now they're selling them. Now they're selling those houses.
Oh, really? So they were legit houses.
They were legit houses. Now they're selling them now. What was the town they were in before Alexandria? Hilltop, was it?
Oh, well, no, I think that was later. I think Hilltop was later.
What was the name of that town? They were in before Alexandria. Wherever the name, it was on a
Atlanta?
hill. Yeah, duh. It was after Atlanta. It was. It's where they met the governor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about.
It's
Yeah.
on a hill. That place is right across the street, right across the railroad tracks from Alexandria.
Okay.
So we did both. We went there the first time to that place, and when Walking Dead was real big, and everybody was like, "Yeah, Walking Dead, yes!" And then we came back about a year later, and Alexandria was up.
Okay.
And then we again trespassed. Went there, took pictures,
That's
big
awesome.
signs, "Don't come in here." So.
Yeah, I went to the Breaking Bad house with Dad one time.
Oh yeah,
Walter White's house. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to get out there. I thought you were gonna do some stuff on the road once. You talked about doing that. Going on the road.
What do you mean? Like-
Doing some stuff like this on the road.
Oh, like on the road? Podcast on the road?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing
What you
that.
talked about, yeah.
Yeah, I need like kind of a mobile setup. But, But yeah, I thought about doing that, especially like touring for comedy and stuff, and whatever. Certain people that I know are in a certain area that I want to have on the podcast, but it'd be too much for them to drive to Nashville or drive to Chicago, and I know I'm going to be in the area. Yeah, I like to do some of that.
Something like that, and plus you go to places that you'll just never go to.
Yeah.
That's one reason we like doing a road trip thing,
Right.
Because you'll visit places that just no one's heard of.
Yeah.
Standing Rock, Alabama.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a literal wide place in the road. I passed through it all my life when I was a kid. There's no reason for anybody to go there.
Yeah.
Where does the name come from? There's this big 6-foot piece of granite sticking up out of the ground.
Wow.
And some people back in 18 whatever just came past there, came up there in their covered wagon and went, "We shall stay. We'll build a settlement here." And what's we're going to name it? Standing Rock. So there's just no other reason to go there. And you never go there. We stumbled upon the place.
Right.
So that's why you go, because there's no reason for anyone to ever go there.
It kind of sounds like, I forget if it's in Arizona or New Mexico, but there's this place called Mexican Hat.
Yeah, I heard of it. I heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a rock formation that looks like a sombrero.
Or another place called Wedowee,
Okay.
Alabama, or another place, Plum Nelly.
Okay.
Plum Nelly, Arkansas. It's just places obscure.
Yeah.
You never see. So get out there. I encourage all your people.
fun.
Get out there on the road.
Up in there. You ever been up to like?
Don't stop, the camera's off.
Huh? No, it's on.
It's on?
I'll make sure. But it should be on.
Okay. I don't see no lights blinking. Okay. I didn't see any lights blinking, so I didn't know.
Yeah, we're good.
Very visual.
Yeah, this ain't the 1980s. We don't have cameras and all lights blinking. Like, I don't hear the reel running. Looks like it's out of tape.
That's about right. Yeah. You gonna change your reel now?
Yeah. So, speaking of that, the 80s, did you watch Stranger Things? Do you watch that show?
I've heard of it, never watched it.
Oh, okay.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of it?
My old lady loves it.
Yeah?
Loves that
Okay.
shit.
It's cool that like the 80s nostalgia in it is cool.
Oh, dude, I'm more like a 70s guy with old school military shows like Baba Black Sheep.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Dude, check it out. Black
Okay.
Sheep Squadron, Baba Black Sheep. It was the army I should have been in.
Okay.
MASH is always good. What else? Another show from the 60s, Combat.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Big Morrow. Yeah.
Tour of Duty?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right. But China Beach, that's another good one. Good medical show.
Okay.
Medical military type show.
All
So
right.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
love that nostalgia, man.
Oh, yeah, I love military movies. I can't get enough of them.
Oh, hell
It's been a little while since there's been a new, really good one.
Well, it's kind of hard to equal stuff in the past.
It's true.
I mean, what would it be about now?
Yeah, I think Vietnam is still untapped. There's really only a handful of great Vietnam movies.
Mel Gibson pulled one out with
We Were Soldiers was great. Yeah.
what's
Platoon, I think, is the best.
Platoon, yeah. Oh my. I can't think of anything that's topped that.
Yeah. It's incredible.
What was the one? Not Heartbreak Ridge. No, which was a bad movie. Sorry, Clint, you messed up on that one.
Yeah.
But what was that other movie? I'll think of it later. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Fury is really good.
Fury, excellent.
Fury is really good.
I don't even know where that came from. I mean,
I
Brad
know.
Pitt.
Oh man, yeah,
dude.
nailed that role.
Dude,
all
damn.
those guys.
Yeah,
you know,
great movie. Oh,
yeah. Shia LaBeouf was great in it. I mean,
yeah.
everybody.
dude, and
It was. I liked just how brutal it was.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't pull no punches
No,
on the reality. Yeah.
No, they didn't.
And they shot it in England. For some reason, I'm amazed by that. They didn't shoot that movie about American tankers in America. They shot it in England.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Band of Brothers, I think, was shot in England too.
Yes, it was. Ireland.
Yeah. Oh, Ireland, really?
Ireland, yeah.
Okay.
The Irish get some great breaks, tax breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know about this, right? There's Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, of course, did Band of Brothers and The Pacific.
Yeah.
And they've got a new one coming out. Have you heard about it? It's about the
yes,
bombers.
It's about the something, not something. You're right. It's about the bombing mission.
Right.
Which, okay, why not?
Yeah, they should have Jimmy Stewart in it.
Jimmy,
Right? He used to be one of those guys. How funny would that be if you had an actor play Jimmy Stewart, a young Jimmy Stewart in World War II?
Is he going to do the classic Jimmy Stewart imitation?
Yeah.
Why? He's going to do the standard Jimmy Stewart imitation?
Oh, well, the Nazis.
But Stewart was good because he had clear PTSD after he came back from the war.
Oh, yeah.
But he turned out some of his best roles after the war. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, I guess maybe experiencing life and death situations helps with your acting.
Well, he flew, I think it was 16 missions over Germany before they pulled him back and made him an admin guy. He could have just said, he could have pulled a Clark Gable. Clark did like 5.
Okay.
And then he was a gunner on B-17s. Adolf Hitler put out a bounty on his head of 10,000 marks. Anybody gets this guy, I'll pay you 10,000 marks.
Oh, wow.
And they started to pull Clark back, yeah.
Interesting.
But Adolf was a fan, but you put a bounty on his head? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's so strange.
So, but it's Adolf Hitler, though, so.
Yeah, God doesn't make great decisions.
That's right.
Yeah, we're like, why would he do that? It seems crazy.
Yes.
That was his whole thing.
But what's that movie? Damn it. About the medic saved 75 people off a ridge. Buzzsaw. Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge,
Buzzsaw.
yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Heartbreak Ridge is a different movie, yeah. Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge.
Another good one.
That one was interesting. I thought his dad, that was a World War I veteran, was an interesting character.
True. Yeah.
Because he was like such a hard ass, but he stuck up for him.
True. Because he wanted to be there, and Dad understood why he went. Dad said, "You're crazy to go." And look, I did the same thing 20 years ago. Have my boys out there in the cemetery dead. If you go, it's gonna be the same thing, dude. Don't go.
Right.
But Dad understood why you want to go. It's the young guy. I gotta get out there and do my part.
Right.
Yeah, I've been there.
That scene where he shows up in his uniform, and it's like you have to respect that guy.
Hey,
that
he showed
panel,
up for him.
And the age of the guys on that panel, they probably were there too. So they
Yes,
had
the guy in charge of his court martial was a World War I veteran too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the problem was. He just didn't want to carry a gun.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. If you had to be a conscious objector, you have to a lot of paperwork, and most of them do end up being medics. Yes.
Right.
But medics carry guns now. Let me tell you something. You're a fool if you don't. Because you're just making yourself a target.
Yeah, because they're going to shoot for the medics.
That's right.
Sometimes.
And they go, oh, the guy ain't got the gun. Bam, get him.
Right.
So medics carry guns, all that shit now.
Yeah.
Because they should.
Right.
But great movie.
It
great
is.
Movie.
It's really good.
And he wasn't just in Okinawa. He was in the Philippines and Guam.
Okay.
So yeah.
Huh.
So that guy, he had been through some shit.
Wow. I'll tell you, I think one of the roughest jobs in that era of warfare would have been the flamethrower.
Yeah, you were a target. Very effective weapon, but you are a target from hell.
Yeah.
They forget about everybody else to kill you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how realistic that is, but you see it in the movies where the tank gets hit and then you get engulfed in flames.
Yes, probably go up like that.
Bad way to go.
But getting that napalm on you is never good. Okay?
No.
Plus, you only had about 15, 20 seconds of flame.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like in that whole tank? Only
In that
15,
whole
20
tank,
seconds?
20, 25 seconds. It wasn't a constant stream
Really?
that you see in the movies.
Okay.
No, you had maybe 25, 30 seconds, and then you
Okay.
were done. And you had to go back and get another tank. That tank weighed like 60 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I read a guy, this Marine on Iwo Jima got a Medal of Honor. He would burn out one pillbox, use up his flamethrower, run back, get another one, come back, blow up, burn up another pillbox.
Yeah.
Run back. He did it six or seven times.
Wow.
And they gave him a Medal of Honor for it. So,
Wow.
So.
Interesting.
And you were target the whole time because if they see you, believe me, they're gonna fry you. They're gonna do their best to kill you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially you see when your buddies get burned alive.
Oh yeah,
you have a bone to pick with those guys.
That was the one thing in Korea that the Chinese could not take. They did their human wave attacks. They faced machine guns, no problem. Artillery, no problem. They couldn't face napalm.
Yeah.
Who could? What sane person could?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's just everything in your bones to get away from fire.
Yeah, I do.
But it's just like at 9/11, the guys that jumped out the windows because it's like that's better than dealing with the heat.
Oh,
You know?
dude. Oh, what a
Yeah,
choice.
it's nothing worse than heat, fire.
So, nah.
Yeah,
So,
it's brutal. Which
but-
we don't use those in warfare anymore.
No, that's bad. Fire is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, like the Germans in World War I tried to get the Americans charged with war crimes for using shotguns.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. They came up with the flamethrower.
Right.
That was okay.
And gas.
And gas, that was all right. But
Yeah.
shotguns, oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God. In fact, they threatened to execute any American prisoner they caught with a shotgun in his hands.
Oh, wow.
And the Americans said, no problem. We'll just issue more shotguns.
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Those old trench guns are really neat.
oh, you could slam fire them. Just
Could.
hold the trigger down and just.
It's not super practical because the problem with slam firing, it's fun to do, but because it's cool, it's just there's a novelty. Because at some point, I don't know if they banned it but it's you got to find old shotguns that that do it. The problem with it though is, so if you're firing it from pushing the action forward, it causes the muzzle to dip.
Okay, yeah.
So you had this kind of seesaw action from doing it, right? Where you're actually better off to just pull the trigger as soon as the chamber
Yeah, keep
closes.
rounds on target, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And
you
it
can
only
shoot a lot
held,
much
what,
more
6
accurate.
rounds?
Right, something like
Okay,
that. 5,
so-
6, yeah.
So,
Exactly. Those are cool, though. Those you ever looked at one of the old 1897 Winchesters?
I've seen one, but
Yeah,
never.
they've got like this weird, they've got an actual physical hammer, right?
Yeah,
And then the bolt comes back. It looks like it's going to hit you in the hand.
And they have a heat shield, too, don't they?
The trench guns do, yeah.
So, and I think they make some with a bayonet.
Yeah.
I saw a guy back when I was a kid in Georgia. He had one, and it had the whole old school 14-inch bayonet that went with it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Dude, okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. If you get a Mossberg 590A1, you could put like a same bayonet that goes on the M16.
Okay, if I'm in a ditch in 2023 and somebody goes fix bayonets, I'm like, okay, let's talk. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. Hey, I wonder when the last time that term was used in battle.
The last pistol charge was 1945 in
really?
Germany. These guys, these tankers, apparently for some reason, they didn't have any more tank ammo, so they dismounted and they pulled out their 45s, 1911s, and they rushed them firing pistols.
Wow.
That's the last pistol charge. The last horse cavalry charge by U.S. Army was in 1916 in Mexico.
Okay.
But bayonets, if you're down to bayonet, something's wrong. Something is wrong.
Yeah. What was when you served? What was because you were issued a bayonet, right?
Yeah. Every time.
What did they train you to do with it? I mean, what was the?
Okay, let me tell you. They have to.
They still teach you to.
They still have the bayonet course, and I think I did that twice in 21 years.
Okay.
Basic training, and one time it's like a fun day thing,
Right.
But whenever you deploy, they have to give you a bayonet. It's part of the issue.
Really?
Here's your bayonet. Now put that away. Make sure you got it when we come back.
Yeah.
Because if they're talking about pull that thing out,
Right.
oh my God. Well,
But that era of bayonets, they were a pretty good knife though, right? That you still use for other things.
it's a combat knife. The ones they issue now, the M9.
Right.
It's a bayonet / combat knife.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a notch you can cut barbed wire with it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's more of a utility knife / bayonet.
Open MREs with it.
Yeah, exactly. But for fight, What you're really worried about is losing it. Because that thing costs like $300. So you're like,
damn,
you know, you lose it, they're gonna make you pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's what you're worried about.
Right.
So that's when people get it. Okay, I'm gonna put this right here and lock that. Good.
Yeah.
Because bayonets, dude. I read about a guy in Sicily in 82nd and 43. They were attacking a German position, and they he ordered fixed bayonets. And later on, they asked him why. He says, when you go to fix bayonets, you're letting your people know we're not going anywhere, and you're letting them know we're not going anywhere.
Oh, that's interesting. It's psychological.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see them go fix bayonets. Oh shit, these guys ain't playing.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
There ain't no run, there ain't no quitting or giving up. So, fix bayonets. Oh my God.
Yeah, fixed bayonets. I could see that almost being like that should be like a term that carries on. It's like a no surrender. You know.
Well, that's understood that if they're coming into your ditch with bayonets, somebody ain't going home.
Yeah.
Somebody is not going home.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
It's crazy that what men are capable of, right? Storming a trench or situations like that, and machine gun fire coming down
at night, and you know they're in there, and everybody wants to go home, and nobody's giving up.
Yeah.
The trick is you got to keep the initiative though. You got to get on them, and once you get your fire superiority, you stay on them, and don't give them a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
Because if they'll run, but you got to make sure you keep the constant pressure on them. And that means if you get close quarters, because sometimes you may not be able to shoot. You know, you're a bad guy, I want to shoot you, but then one of my guys behind you.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm going to shoot you with M4. That round's going to go through you and hit him. No, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's right. It gets messy at that point.
That's
You're
right.
overrun.
You're all in there, like Major Winters talked about in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
At the, what was the name of that place? Episode 2, when he took over, he knocked out those trenches. Breakcore Manor.
Oh.
When he almost got the Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
He said, I knew I had to get no ditches with him. The way you attack a trench is that you suppress them, and then you get on them.
Yeah.
And you have to get in the trench with them.
Right.
Because once you're in the ditch with them, you can deal with them one at a time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's how you deal with them.
Yeah.
Because they're undercover.
Right.
When you're attacking them and they're in the ditch, you can only see from here down.
That's right.
From here up.
Evens the playing field if you're in there with them.
Now you're in the ditch with them. We're even now.
That makes sense.
So.
Well, I guess it's about done gone long enough.
Trench warfare
is
is a good way to end it.
Yeah, it is a great place to end it. Well, it was great to have you back. You know?
Good to be back. Thanks.
Yeah, man. We'll do this again. I'm serious about. I know I've said it before, but I'm serious about this time. We're putting a lot into it. We got 2 studios. Like we're going. Fix bayonets.
By God.
This podcast.
The Hickok Network. By God.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
We are fixed bayonets on this
Hickok
podcast.
TV. By God.
Absolutely.
All right. Anytime.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
See you guys.
See ya.